Sometimes you have to leave. Have you ever been in a situation where you knew something wasn't right anymore, but you kept trying to make it work? Maybe it was a job, a relationship, a friendship, a season of your life that just doesn't fit anymore. And sometimes we stay because we're comfortable. Sometimes we stay because we're afraid. And sometimes, if we're really honest, we stay because we've convinced ourselves that leaving means we failed. But what if leaving isn't failure? What if sometimes the discomfort you're feeling is actually an invitation to change? I love the idea, but I'd change one thing. I don't necessarily believe the universe makes things uncomfortable for us. I believe God sometimes allows us to become uncomfortable enough that we finally pay attention. That restlessness, that feeling that says, this isn't where I'm supposed to stay, maybe it's worth listening to, friends. Now, that doesn't mean you throw everything away the minute you're unhappy. Sometimes we need to work through things. Sometimes we need to grow. Sometimes the problem isn't where we are, it's what we're bringing into the situation. But there are also times when you've done the work, you've learned the lesson, and it's simply time to move forward. And here's the part I want you to remember. You don't have to wait until your life becomes unbearable before you give yourself permission to change. You can choose something different simply because you realized you want something different. So, if you've been feeling that nudge lately, maybe don't ignore it. Get quiet, pray about it, pay attention, and then ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I already know I've outgrown? Because sometimes the next chapter doesn't begin when everything falls apart. Sometimes it begins when you finally decide to turn the page. So, here's to turning the page this weekend. Have a great day. See you next time.